Once you've mastered the art of making a perfect omelette, you will have mastered the art of making the perfect ready meal in moments. First of all, catch your frying pan. The right one is going to be crucial here. So we have prepared a detailed video all about choosing the right pan, so please study that carefully. Next to the pan, I've got ready all I'm going to need: a jug, 2 eggs, a large fork, a tablespoon, salt, pepper and olive oil. And there's a plate warming in the oven. For one person, 2 eggs with seasoning in a jug, and then use a large fork to combine the yolks and the whites, just like this. Don't over-whisk or beat, just gently combine them. After that, place the pan over a medium heat, add a teaspoon of oil, and as it heats, swirl it all around the pan so the base and the sides get coated. Now turn the heat up to high and watch until the oil begins to shimmer. I always describe this as getting it as hot as you dare. Now pour in the eggs and wait for about 5 seconds until you see a frill all round the edge. Wait till you see this, it's quite easy to see. Then tilt the pan to 45 degrees and using a tablespoon, draw the edges of the omelette in towards the centre. Then let the liquid egg flow back into the space and keep tilting the pan backwards and forwards, pulling the edges in with a spoon until there is no liquid egg left except on the surface. Now the important bit, it's time to fold. So take the pan over to the warmed plate and angle it like this. Then using the spoon to flip one side over to the centre, then fold it again as it arrives on the plate. And then to finish, scatter a generous amount of freshly grated Parmesan over. Any liquid egg will by now have been almost cooked, but it's important to have quite a bit of squidginess. To make a cheese omelette, you first need to preheat the grill. Scatter any kind of grated cheese over, this is finely grated Gruyere, and then flash it briefly until the cheese is melted. There we go, lightly cooked on the outside and just creamy and squidgy within. So that's a very fast omelette. Now I want to show you what's called an open-faced omelette. It's what the Spanish call tortilla. Here I've got everything ready to go. First, 200 grams of potatoes cut into thin rounds, and these have been rubbed in a clean cloth to get them as dry as possible. This is a small onion, halved and sliced thinly so you get half-moon shapes. Heat 1 tablespoon of olive oil in our Cookery School frying pan, and when it's smoking hot, add the onions and potatoes. Toss them round in the oil to get a good coating, and then add some freshly milled black pepper and a teaspoon of salt. Turn the heat down to low, put a lid on the pan and let them cook for 10 to 12 minutes or until they're tender. They're not really browning here, they're sort of stewing in the oil. Meanwhile, whisk 4 large eggs very lightly in a jug. Then quickly add the cooked potatoes and onions, mixing them around to coat with egg. Then put the pan back on the heat, add another half tablespoon of oil and turn the heat up to medium to heat it. Now pour the whole lot back into the pan, turn the heat down to low and give the tortilla 20 to 25 minutes without a lid. From time to time, push the edges in all round, quite firmly with a palette knife in a vertical position, and this gives it that traditional rounded edge. When it's ready, there will be virtually no liquid egg left. But now you need to turn it over, but that's very easy. Use a flat lid, place it over the pan, and then flip it over to get the tortilla out onto the lid. Or if you don't fancy doing that, it can be finished under the grill. Now put the pan back on the heat and use a palette knife to gently ease the tortilla back in. Give it about 2 minutes, then turn the heat out and let it settle for another 5. Serve the tortilla cut into wedges, warm with a salad, or it's also good served cold for a picnic. This is a sort of Omelette Savoyard, adapted from a French recipe. In this case, while there's still some liquid egg left, scatter some crisply grilled bacon all over. Then sprinkle on grated cheese. This is cheddar. The original had Gruyere, but any cheese will do. Then a quick flash under a preheated grill until the cheese is melted, and serve it cut into wedges. Nice, I think, with a baby spinach leaf salad. Next, I want to show you how to make a soufflé omelette. This can be plain with just eggs, or as here with Swiss Gruyere cheese and grated Parmesan. This is 3 large egg whites whisked to the soft peak stage. And now I'm going to fold in the beaten yolks along with some Parmesan and grated Gruyere cheese, plus a heaped tablespoon of snipped chives and then some seasoning. The pan is warming over a low heat, so in goes a heaped teaspoon of butter. Turn the heat right up, and then when the butter foams, pile the whole lot into the pan. Give it a hefty shake now to even it out a bit, then let it cook for just 1 minute. Slide a palette knife all round the edges to loosen it and sprinkle more cheeses over the surface. Now whack it under a preheated hot grill and let it cook for 1 more minute until the cheese has melted and turned golden. Then let it stand and settle for 2 minutes. Now take it to a warmed plate, use a palette knife to loosen it all round, then ease one half over the other, tilt the whole lot out onto the plate, sprinkle with more Parmesan and a few snipped chives, and just divide it into 2, and you've got a very classy supper. Now for our grand finale, a lemon curd soufflé omelette. In this jug, we've got 3 egg yolks, the grated zest and juice of a lemon, and a level tablespoon of caster sugar. In another bowl, the egg whites whisked to the soft peak stage. Now put a teaspoon of butter into the pan and then quickly combine the yolks and the whites, folding them with a large kitchen spoon. As soon as the butter is foaming, pour in half the mixture. Add 4 generous teaspoons of lemon curd, placing it in little blobs all over. Now add the rest of the mixture and dust the surface with icing sugar. Then quickly place it under a preheated grill until the surface is brown and golden. Serve absolutely straight away with some chilled pouring cream. And then you've got clouds of very lemony, very light loveliness. If you've got any questions, join our forum or one of our live web chats.